Good evening and welcome to Toddy Walnuts magazine flip through. I tried to do my best Alfred Hitchcock impersonation. It was awful, but we have the ladies here. It's a Saturday night, right about the witching hour, and I thought we would go through a couple of magazines tonight. Do a little flip through of some of the more recent horror vintage magazines that I picked up. I'll just kind of show you guys what we're going to go through tonight. We're not going to drag this video out too long, but I want to go through these and check them out. So from 1977, we got Frankenstein Classic. From 1970, we have Horror Tales. 1972, we have another Horror Tales. And we have a couple of Vampirella from 1972 and 1974. And we have a couple of Horror Hound magazines. This one from 2010 and this one from 2013. So let's start with the Frankenstein one. That's the one I'm most looking forward to out of this whole pile. So let's take the plastic off and let's check it out. So considering this book is from 1977, it looks like it's in pretty good condition. It was read. It looks like it was read, but it was very loved and appreciated and taken care of, it looks like. It says Frankenstein is published quarterly by Modern Day Periodicals, which was in New York, New York. Looks like it had a price of $1.25. There's the table of contents. The paper quality is almost like a newspaper. It has that same kind of, I don't want to call it low quality, but it's lower quality than modern magazines anyway. These were not really meant to last for 50 years or almost 50 years like this one has. But this one has really aged well, I think. You can see that the image quality too on these newspaper type pulp paper is not the greatest quality. It says Frankenstein and Fritz, with the monster on the operating table stitched together from the remnants of a dozen dead bodies. The mad doctor's creation is just waiting to receive the spark of life. Paper is really dry too. having just had an abnormal brain implanted in his massive skull, Frankenstein's monster is ready to be born. So basically, this is kind of a play-by-play or a recap, kind of a Cliff Notes version of the Frankenstein movie. You can kind of read along and get the movie in this paper form. That's a great image right there. That's really great. Boris Karloff's portrayal of Frankenstein's monster is so unique. It says Fritz can't resist torturing the monster again, and this time it proves to be fatal. The monster kills his tormentor and makes a bid for freedom. We've all seen the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, though. I've never seen it on Blu-ray. I've seen it on probably the most. I've seen it on VHS back in the day. But I do have it on DVD and Blu-ray as well. I've seen it on DVD a handful of times, but I've never seen the full cleaned up edition on 1080p. Maybe this Halloween season I'll pop it in on Blu-ray. Give the Universal Monsters a clean viewing. See how it looks when it's all scrubbed clean on Blu-ray. So here's a viewing of the enraged townsfolk set out to capture Frankenstein before he kills again. That is awesome. That's such a great monster. That's a great climactic scene right there. The doctor tracks down his creation, but of course he's no match for the monster. We know what happens. And there's the mob trying to smash down the doors of the tower. And Frankenstein's monster throws the doctor from the roof. And then this is when Frankenstein's monster gets crushed under a fallen beam and supposedly dies in the flames. And this is Boris Karloff here from Son of Frankenstein from 1939. There's Boris Karloff in The Black Cat, 1934. There's Boris Karloff in The Isle of the Dead, 1945. And here is Boris Karloff in The Body Snatcher, also 1945. There's Bride of Frankenstein. Karloff reprises his role, 1935. The monster who finally finds his mate. Here he's examining one of her hands. He likey. Look at that grin. He's more Herman Munster there than he is Frankenstein's monster. And he played the monster once again in Son of Frankenstein, 1939, with Basil Rathbone and Bela Lugosi. Great movies. Great movies. Here he's giving the local townsfolk a fright as he lumbers through their town. Ooh, look at that. That's another great image. That is a great image. Karloff as the mummy coming back from the dead again. And for not having any spoken lines in the movie, he gave one hell of a compelling performance. And he was a sympathetic figure as well. And then down here, this is, I guess they're applying the makeup that he had to wear for the film. There's the Mummy from 1932, Imhotep. This is from The Invisible Ray, 1936. This is a really good book. I think I paid about, well, I got this in a lot, and I think it came out to about $10 per book. This is a scene from Bedlam, 1946. Karloff appears as a bearded butler in The Old Dark House, 1932, opposite Melvyn Douglas and Charles Laughton. And down here, we have a scene from The Mummy. And over here is the Black Cat. He was still a villain. And here's Black Sabbath from 1963. And here's what I mean about the kind of how he kind of played to the sympathy of the audience as a kind of a tortured soul. This was one of the memorable scenes from the original Frankenstein. And this was just before he tossed her in the lake. It was both touching and frightening. And this scene here is from Corridors of Blood from 1962, co-starring Francis Matthews. And this one is Comedy of Terrors. Karloff appears with his horror buddies Peter Lorre and Vincent Price. One of the monster's first victims is the father of the little girl he killed in the first film. And this is from The Bride of Frankenstein. Mae Clarke was replaced by Valerie Hobson as Frankenstein's fiancée. Here's the original bride, Elsa Lanchester. She played a dual role in the film. She was Mary Shelley as the authoress, and she was the weird-looking mate of the monster. And I think the Bride of Frankenstein, there was an eerie beauty about the bride. She's a very, very gorgeous actress, and it showed through the makeup even, I think. After having frightened a young peasant girl in the forest, the monster shows concern. So one of the most frightening things about Frankenstein's monster was not only was he like a lurking menace, very powerful, but he couldn't control his own mind. Like, he knew some things were right and wrong, but sometimes he just couldn't help the violence. Finally captured by the townsfolk, the monster is hauled off to jail, but he manages to escape again. The monster finds refuge in the hut of a blind hermit who gives him his first taste of kindness. And the blind hermit soothes the savage beast with music and teaches him to speak. Dr. Praetorius. Who else we got over here? Dr. Praetorius finds the monster hiding in a cemetery and promises to make him a mate. Dr. Praetorius creates a female monster. There she is. And even though that's pretty horrifying, I still think she's beautiful. It's her face. I think it's her facial structure. She's a beautiful actress. Almost done here with this book. I really enjoyed this book. I think it's well worth the $10 I spent for it. This is from The Horror of Frankenstein, 1970. The Hammer movie. Also very, very good. This is from The Ghost of Frankenstein, 1942. This time Lon Chaney Jr. played the monster. Frankenstein was Sir Cedric Hardwicke. Igor was Bela Lugosi, and Lionel Atwill was thrown in for good measure. And down here, scenes from The Ghost of Frankenstein with Lon Chaney Jr. and Bela. And over here we have The House of Frankenstein, 1944. And down here, it says, in this updated version of the horror epic, the monster is up to his old tricks, snatching up children. Peter Cushing and his assistant, Simeon Ward, work on a victim, Freddie Jones, in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, 1969. That's a fun movie. I have that one on Blu-ray. And this bottom panel, The House of Dracula, 1944. The Frankenstein monster, played by Glenn Strange. And this is The Horror of Frankenstein from 1970. The monster was played by David Prowse. And in this scene, he gets a little finger exercise. So that was the Frankenstein magazine, and I really enjoyed it. Hope you guys did. Let's go to the next one. Try to go a little bit quicker through this one. This one is in really, really good condition, considering that it's from 1970, so it's over 50 years old. And this thing looks like it was barely read, if at all. This is called Horror Tales. And we'll just start flipping through. Let's take a look here at the fine print. It was, let's see, published by Erie Publications from New York, New York. And it had a 35-cent price tag from 1970. This is volume 2, number 1. Here's the table of contents for January 1970, if you want to pause it and read it. Feel free to do so. There's also a little coupon here, or a submission form, if you want to subscribe or order some of these magazines. Wow. 5 issues for $1.50. And you can get a $1 potluck special, any 4 back issues, for $1. Just gonna kind of scroll through and give you guys a taste of what some of these old monster magazines looked like. Since there was a comic book code, some of these magazines are a little more graphic and violent and gory because they can get away with it in magazine form as opposed to comic book form. Magazines didn't have the same rules as comic books, so you see you have a hairy beast ripping the head off of a, let's see, what does it say? The monster thirsting for revenge for the wounds it had suffered lashes out, and Professor Varig and his assistant. So he's got a leg in one hand and the head is ripped right off of the body in the other hand. Obviously, these were more geared towards adults. But there were a lot of kids that grabbed these too, and I know I would have. This was a little before my time. I wasn't around back then, but if I was a kid in 1970, you know, maybe 10, 12 years old, I probably would have tried to pick this up. Really beautiful magazine for being 54 years old. It's really, really nice. The pages are clean. There's no creases or tears, holes. I think if this one got cleaned and pressed, this would be a pretty high grade, I think. I'm not going to have it sent in, but I think this would probably get at least 7.75, maybe more. I don't know. I think it's actually about a 7.75 now without a cleaning and a pressing. Could probably go higher than that. Here's another story called Better Off Dead. It looks like they're doing heart surgery on this guy, and his heart's ripped out, still beating. Another story here called Monsters for Rent. So each magazine was kind of an anthology. It had a few stories compiled in each episode or each magazine. Some kind of a sea serpent. Plesiosaur, maybe? I don't know. Another story called House of Chills. We're in complete chill mode tonight. We got a couple candles lit, and I'm gonna go to bed after this. Nice little chill video for you guys. It helps me relax. I hope it helps you guys relax. Here's one called Devil Flower. They sure gave you a lot for your money back in 1970. For 35 cents, you get all these awesome stories, beautiful artwork. And that's the end of it. Here's a advertisement for Great West. That was from May of 1969, 50 cents. And that looks like it's pretty interesting too. We thought we'd let you know Great West is a picto-historical magazine specially designed to relive the Old West that our grandmas and grandpas knew so well. It was a true documentary link with the frontier of yesterday. All the stories are real. Much research is poured into these action tales. Our sources are living witnesses or their descendants, historical documents, and state historical societies. Fill out the blank below and you'll receive the next 6 months or 6 issues of Great West, the magazine that relives the West as it really was. So for $2.75, you can subscribe and get 1 year, 6 issues. That is a great deal. I'm going to try to pick some of these up just to flip through here on the channel. Great West, True Stories of the Old Frontier Days. That sounds pretty cool. And then here's the back panel. This must be the conclusion of that last story. Looks like it did not end well. So that is Terror Tales, or Horror Tales from January 1970. So I decided to go with the Vampirella next because this Horror Tales is going to be a lot more of the same, just different stories, same type of layout, you know, different, an anthology of different horror stories. If you really want to see that, let me know and I'll show you in a different video, but we'll try a Vampirella and then I'm going to actually skip this one and we'll go into one of the horror hounds. I don't want to make this too long and I don't want it to be too repetitive, so this Vampirella is number 20 from October of 1972. Illustrated Tales to Bewitch and Bedevil You from Warren Magazine. It had a 75-cent price tag, and this cover is amazing to me. I just love the way that looks. It's like something from Greek mythology or like Clash of the Titans or something, like the underworld of the dead or something. It just looks amazing to me. Here's the inside panel. Vampy's Fairy Tales, a matrimonial murderer. And here's the table of contents from October 1972. We'll take a look. There's all the different chapters, and then here is the fine print. This was a bi-monthly with an additional special issue. And let's see here. It says a special issue in September by Warren Publishing. Price 75 cents per copy. Subscription 7 issues, including September special, is $5.50 in the US. So you get 7 books for $5.50. That's amazing. New York, New York. Wow. Dear Vampy. Come on, you can focus. You can do it. Is that a blow-up Vampy? It's a Vampirella model kit. Vampirella fan club. You are under my spell. And then here's where the stories start. These magazines are really great. That has kind of a Dawn of the Dead type font. It kind of has that. I want to show you guys something too. I forgot to show you. I picked up a poster light. Let me see if I can get this on. I bought one because I wanted to see how it worked before I bought the other two. So this came with a little remote, and there's 3 different light settings. So the one that's on there now is like the brightest light, and then this is kind of the next one here, I guess it's kind of like a warm light, which I like that one a little bit better. And then the third one, it almost looks like natural sunlight. And then you can dim it or make it brighter. So right now I'm just kind of dimming it. There's different buttons that you can use here. You could make it a little bit brighter. I happen to like the middle setting, which is like almost like a yellow glow. So I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. It doesn't look the greatest through my phone as I'm recording this. It looks way better in person, but I'm thinking about getting 2 more of those. I picked them up on Amazon, and I think they were only like, the light was like 30 bucks. And this light, the bar, actually comes right off. It's a magnetic setting that sits onto the post that gets bolted or screwed into the wall. And you can recharge that battery with a USB cable that comes with the light. So it's pretty convenient. So you can charge it. It takes, I don't know, 20-25 minutes to charge it fully, and then you just click it back in magnetically and you're ready to go. I think it's pretty, for 30 bucks, I think it's pretty good. So I'm just gonna turn it off, and I just wanted to show you the font. That's why I brought that up. The Dawn of the Dead font looks a lot like this When Wakes the Dead font, which this came out first, right? Because this was 1972, and Dawn of the Dead came out in 1978, which was 6 years later. So it may be a coincidence, I don't know, or somebody may have borrowed from this font. Just saying, I don't know. But let's continue. Just kind of flip through this. Really beautiful, rich, dark colors. It looks really great. This magazine's in pretty good condition, considering it's over 50 years old, and it has a little bit of discoloration on the cover. There's I mean, to me, that doesn't matter. As long as everything on the inside is readable, there's nothing missing, there's no big tears or water damage. This looks really good. I'm going to try to collect as many of these as I feel like. Definitely not going to get the whole run. I would like to, but that would cost an arm and a leg, and I have other things I want to buy other than just magazines. So I'll kind of pepper these in from time to time when I feel like grabbing them. If I can get them on a good deal, I'll grab them. These are really nice. So here are some advertisings for books. These are Vampy's book reviews. That looks amazing to me. Look at that art. That is beautiful. We're gonna go to sleep after this. Those vanilla candles really smell good. I'm a big fan of the vanilla scent, and right now the whole room smells really, really good. I think in a perfect world, everything would smell like vanilla all the time. Here are some eerie cover jigsaw puzzles. You can buy some patches. Warren really had a great thing going. They had a nice little monopoly of magazines and characters. Go check out Gratu Orloff's channel if you want to know more about Warren and the different magazines and characters that they had. Here's some posters for sale, original art. I remember when I was a kid, I had an ant farm, and I spent a lot of time on it, but those guys never grew anything. That's an old Mitch Hedberg joke. Rest in peace to Mitch Hedberg. That guy he wasn't appreciated until he died. Mitch Hedberg was hilarious. But the joke was, I had an ant farm, and those fellas didn't grow shit. That was the joke. If you've never heard of Mitch Hedberg, check him out here on YouTube. He's got some really good stuff. Greg Giraldo was another one. Died way too soon. There's some record albums. All this stuff I love, man. Ooh, I have that. I have that. I have this one. That's Famous Monsters Speak on vinyl. You can buy some little trinkets here. You can buy a monster hand, a mad doctor hypodermic needle, a human skeleton, a monster foot, a gruesome skull cap, silent dog whistle. You can buy some Screen Thrills magazines and back issues. Back issues of Vampirella. Let's see how much these are going for. Vampirella #1 right now in 2024 in a graded copy. I'll say like a 5. A mid-grade of a Vampirella is probably about $4,000 right now. Let's see what you can get it for here. Come on, you can focus for me. There you go. So you can buy it in 1972, was this? Yeah, this was 72. You can buy it for $3. Wow. Look at all those low numbers. The low numbers are very, very expensive. I just want to take a look at them because they're even rare to find them anymore. But there's #2. That one's highly sought after. All the low numbers are sought after. Some of them you can't find at all. I just recently got that one. This is a Ken Kelly cover, and I have that one signed by Ken Kelly. This was Uncle Erie's first appearance in Vampirella, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I think it is. Is that his name, Uncle Erie? I could be wrong about that. Some of these Frank Frazetta covers are gorgeous. I have this one, but I have the Canadian variant of it, and it's I think it's number 100 something as a Canadian variant, but it's number 18 as the US original cover. I take it back, it's this one. I do have that one as well, but this is the one I was thinking of. That's Dracula's first appearance, I believe, in Vampirella. All of these are very, very highly sought after and very expensive. It's really cool to see them all on one page, though. All right, moving to the next page. Giant life-size Frankenstein pinup poster, 6 feet tall. Look at that. Drawn by Jack Davis. I'm going to see if I can find it. I bet you Gratu has that. It was $2. I bet you if you find that now in good condition, it's probably, I don't know, a couple $100. Some other posters you can get. There's Dr. Phibes, you got Barnabas Collins, you got some of the Marvel and DC superheroes. I love that Spider-Man, that looks really good. That Hulk looks really good. Creature looks really good. These all look fantastic. Steve McQueen is awesome. Raquel Welch. All of these are amazing. Wow. Rubber monster masks. How much were these? $2.25. Wow. A vampire kit, an ugly kit, scar stuff. You can make fake scars, evil teeth, Venus flytrap, creepy fan club, blazing combat. So much coolness here. This is really good. I love this stuff. Here's a creepy jigsaw puzzle. Heroes, monsters, and spacemen. Scarce collector's issues. Let's see. Curse of Frankenstein, Mole People. I have this one. I have this one. I don't have any of the spacemen or westerns. I don't have the Curse of Frankenstein. You can pick up some of these back issues back then for $3.50, $4, which was a lot of money back then, considering that this magazine was only 75 cents in 1972. So for 4 times more, you can get a back issue at that time. And you have, what is this? Movie monster kits. Create your own classic horror film characters. Authentic, lifelike model kits made of styrene plastic. You paint them yourself with quick dry enamel and watch them glow in the dark. Frankenstein, Dracula, Phantom of the Opera, Forgotten Prisoner of Castlemare, The Mummy, wow. The Witch. Oh, I definitely would have got The Witch. That is awesome. I would have gotten Frankenstein. I would have gotten Dracula. I would have tried to get all of these. Godzilla, King Kong. King Kong was 9.5 or 9 1/8 inches tall. That's pretty good. For $2. This is going on a little bit longer than I wanted, but this is really cool. This is 8mm and Super 8 films that you can buy. Horror shockers. Are these the full movies, or are these just the trailers? It says a great film classic about a madman, 200-foot reel. It must be the whole movie. For $6.95, you can get any of these movies. Wow, That's awesome. She Monster of the Night. There's some more over here too. Original Frankenstein. That's awesome right there. I was a teenage Frankenstein. These movies are great too, the sequels to Creature. And you can order these as well for $6.95. Paperback books. Lots of horror titles, sci-fi. There's Star Trek, Journey to the Center of the Earth. I just recently rewatched that, not too long ago. Hardcover books on comics. How much are these? $6.95. Now this one, this was very expensive for the time. This is called EC Horror Comics of the 1950s. Fantastic Collector's Edition of 23 of the greatest EC horror comics ever published in full color for $19.95. It's a 208-page book, 10 inches by 14 inches in size. So for 20 bucks, that was really expensive for the time. Now that book is probably hundreds of dollars. Here's Batman. That's amazing. I would get that one for sure. I love Batman. It was $9.95. Here you can order some posters from some of the covers of these magazines. How much were they? $2 plus shipping. 50 cents for postage and handling. So $2.50 to order a poster shipped, full color. Here's Batman and Robin, 8mm movies for $6.95. You really get your money's worth when you bought these magazines back in the day. So now we're kind of back to the comics, to the stories, I should say. And not that I just want to rush through this, but we've already seen what the panels look like, and we're not here to read them. We're just kind of checking the book out. So this is the last ad page, and you can subscribe to Vampirella Creepy, Eerie, or Famous Monsters. They have a little order form for you, and talks a little bit about the next issue, what you can look forward to. Man, these are really, really great. You can order a 6-foot poster of Vampirella. How much? $3.48. That's completely with the payment and shipping. It's $3.48. And you can rush me a 6-foot full color poster plus a 2-year 14-issue subscription for $11. So you get the 6-foot poster and 2 years of Vampirella for $11. That might be the best deal I've ever heard in my life. Wow. There you go. That's Vampirella. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to go through one more magazine here. Okay, so this will be the last magazine for this video. If you guys want to see more of these, let me know. Leave a comment, and if there's enough interest, I'll do another flip through at some point. I have a lot of things I can go through. So if you guys enjoy these, let me know. I'm not going to be going through this one today just because I don't want to be too repetitive. But we'll flip through this. We'll go check it out, and then we'll end the video. So this one is the Horror Hound July, August of 2010. This is number 24. Jason Voorhees on the front, and this is the Friday the 13th, 30 years kind of a retrospective, the rise and fall of Voorhees. So it's kind of, this isn't really, I don't think this was ever read, because it's, I mean, there's no creases where the pages turn. It is advertising Dark Night of the Scarecrow, which is a really good horror movie that was made for TV back in the 80s. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. It stars Larry Drake. Where is he? Right there. You may remember him from Dr. Giggles. He's passed away now. But I'm not going to give anything away. It's a very good, it's back when they used to make really good made-for-TV movies, and this is an excellent example of that. You can buy it from VCI Entertainment, and here are some of their other titles that you can buy. They have some good stuff. VCI has good quality. They're kind of an underdog. Not too many people ever talk about them. I do, but not too many other people do. But there's our boy that we're going to be talking about today. And then here is the table of contents. Here is a letter from the editor. Corey Haim with one of his fans or friends, Angela M. Hanneman Trailer, 1976 to 2010. Rest in peace to both of them. I don't know who she is, but sorry to hear that she's no longer with us. There's Bub from Day. That's cool. The demon, or the devil from Legend. Tom Savini's makeup program. Lawrence Fishburne. I don't think I've seen that movie. The Prey. This magazine is really nice. Just from flipping through it, it's very high quality. Glossy varnished pages. You can tell that they put quality into these. Predators. There's Danny Trejo. What's this guy's name? Adrian Brody or something? I can't remember. What does it say here? Fright Night Film Fest from 2010. Let's see what kind of guests they had. Tyler Main from Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. We have some people from Night of the Creeps. That's cool. Tom Atkins. John Dugan from the original TCM. That's awesome. Kevin Tenney. He's a great director. I like him. April Monique Burrell. Jimmy O'Burrell's wife, Chainsaw Sally. She's awesome. So is Jimmy. Ari Lehman. The Child Jason. Ken Kersinger. Jason Voorhees. Freddy vs. Jason. Dawn of the Dead reunion. Wow. Nightmare on Elm Street, The Girls of Nightmare reunion. There's Clive Barker. Some tattoo art from fans, I guess, that showed up to some of these conventions. That's amazing. BBC Horrors. awesome. What does it say here? Did you know? Like other popular UK television programs, The Office and Got Talent, Being Human is currently a US relaunch with American actors. I've never seen it. I know that we do tend to kind of copy a lot of the UK shows. We've been doing that for years, which is a good thing. I mean, I think it brings new fans to some of these older shows when they get renewed and kind of revitalized, I guess. Here we have some Blu-rays that were out at the time, or movies. It looks like some of them are DVD. I have just about all of these. What is this here? XT video. It looks like it's a bust. You can see some of the vintage artwork on some of these VHS boxes. This is everything that I love right here. Hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I do. Here's some horror toys. Also love horror toys. Everything to do with the pop culture of movies. Now, I don't love all of it. Like the Lego stuff I can do without. The Funko Pops I can do without. But the majority of this stuff I really do love. Here's horror comic books. It's creepy magazines. What is this here? The Most Wanted, or I Can't Believe That's Still Not on DVD. That's the thing about collecting physical media. You know, it's each new generation of physical media that comes out, less and less movies are being put onto that format. There are tons of movies that are on VHS that have never gotten a DVD release. There are movies on DVD that have never gotten a Blu-ray release, and it gets smaller and smaller as time goes on. That's why I love to, that's just one of the many reasons why I love to collect physical media. This movie's kind of underrated. I think it's pretty good. You can get that on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. It's probably been released by other companies by now. It's a low-budget, kind of a splatter flick, sci-fi horror. So here's the Friday the 13th feature that's on the cover. This is the 30 Years, the Rise and Fall of Voorhees, a Horror Hound retrospective. Here's a little trivia down here. It says, did you know Jason's name was originally Josh, per Victor Miller's initial script? I don't know. He's been Jason to me for decades. I don't know how I feel about Josh Voorhees. It's better as Jason. It'll always be Jason. Here's another piece of trivia for you. Did you know Friday the 13th was first released in Japan on DVD uncut before being released in America in its uncut state? That is a shame. That is a crying shame. Shame on you, America. Quotable quote, "Kill her, Mommy, kill her. Don't let her get away, Mommy. Don't let her live." Betsy Palmer. I don't want to go too fast here, so this is important to me. It's important to you. Let's make sure that we give it its due here. Lunch pail and a thermos. You can see some of the foreign titles. We love this stuff. We love it. Did you know Jason's look in Friday the 13th Part 2 was meant to mimic the killer seen in The Town That Dreaded Sundown? We pretty much figured that out on our own. The sackhead Jason was already done in The Town That Dreaded Sundown. We all figured that out years and years ago. But yeah, it's good to know that. And again, this did come out in 2010, so this magazine's 14 years old. You can see the different toys and posters, and oh man, I love this stuff so much. You can see the lobby cards. Quotable quotes. Things have been quiet for 5 years, and that's the way we want to keep it. Jack Marks, Friday the 13th Part 2. Quotable quote. They were going skinny dipping. It's not skinny enough. Larry Zerner, Friday the 13th, Part 3. I have this vinyl record from, I think it was from 1980. I'm not sure. I'll have to pull it out. I have the original vinyl for that. Final record. Now, I did not know that there was a Matchbox toy of Jason. I think I would pass on that one, but it's cool that they have it. And this kind of stuff right here, I'm not really into like the Lego characters and the Cinema of Fear. I just recently got into the Toonie Terrors, though. I thought I would never get into those, but I actually like those a lot. Here's a fun fact. Let's see if we can zoom in here. It is widely believed that Jacques Plante's original hockey mask was modified and used in filming Friday the 13th, Part 3. I don't know who that is. I'm not going to pretend like I know. Okay, we got some more poster art and toys, and here's Friday the 13th, the television series. Here's also Friday the 13th, the television series. I have this is the vinyl record, and I have all 3 seasons of that on DVD as well. These are getting harder to find. These are the books or novels, paperback books of the Friday the 13th series. These have gone up into the hundreds of dollars per book, if you can find them. And again, quality is everything, so the better the quality is, obviously the higher the price will be. Did you know William Pattinson, who played Eric Morse, also worked on a fan-made film adaptation of his Friday the 13th novel, Mother's Day? I don't know anything about the novels. I would get them if they were, you know, a decent price. It's not really something I collect, but if I did get them for a good price, I'd probably grab them. I'm definitely not going to pick them up for a couple $100 a piece. I'll pass on that. It's an easy pass for me. Fun fact, Corey Feldman reprised his role in a dream sequence only as Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 5. He was replaced due to the script's requisition for a teenage Tommy. What are these? These are the different posters, and then these are figures and the box art for the figures. I have all of these. I don't have this one. Jason Goes to Hell. I need to get that one. I think that's Mezco. Oh, that's Sideshow Collectibles. That's going to be a few $100 for that one, at least. Ooh, check this out. These are all the different VHS boxes. Wow. The different VHS and DVD, all the different artwork and the Blu-rays. Also available, New Line Cinema released a Jason Slasher Collection DVD box set, which includes Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and Freddy vs. Jason. Fun fact, Video stores who carried Friday the 13th Part 5 on video received a hockey mask lamp for display in their stores, seen on the opposite page. Did not know that. Did not know that even existed. That's awesome. Here's a little kind of a diorama of a house, of a cabin from final chapter. Wow, this is really, really good. There's Alice Cooper. So his album Constrictor, which to me is one of the best albums ever made. If you don't have Alice Cooper Constrictor, you need to get it, because that was used in Friday the 13th, Part 6. Some great songs on that album. Did you know director Tom McLaughlin initially filmed 13 deaths for Friday the 13th Part 6? The studio demanded more bodies and an additional 5 deaths were shot. So the 13 wasn't enough, they did 5 more. Fun fact, LJN released a Friday the 13th video game in 1986, which is notorious for being one of the worst games released for Nintendo. I can vouch for that. I own it, I've played it, and it is absolutely terrible. Oddly enough, this is the only game released for the franchise, which is not true anymore. Remember, this is from 2010. They do have a PlayStation game now, which it's fun, but it gets old pretty quick, but it's still a fun game, which I do have that as well. There's the original Nintendo game. That's getting harder to find. It's not harder to find, but it's becoming more and more expensive as time goes on. I have this game twice, actually. I have it on from Nintendo twice, and I have the PlayStation 4 game as well. They got stickers and playing cards and busts and just different Halloween decorations, calendars. Fun fact, Jason Takes Manhattan's original one-sheet poster art, Jason slashing through an I Love New York poster, was changed thanks to complaints from the New York Tourism Committee. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of washing out there with the flash on. Quotable quotes, "You're all gonna die. You're the last ones. He's come back for you, Alex from Jason Takes Manhattan." I have this poster. I have the original poster of that in a frame. I think this is the one that they were talking about, that the New York Tourism Committee wanted them to pull. I don't have this one, but I do have that one. I have this original poster framed. Jason Goes to Heck. We got some Jason comic books put up by the Topps Trading. They were like a baseball card trading company, and they put out some comic books. Fun fact, in promotion for Jason Takes Manhattan, Kane Hodder appeared in full Jason Voorhees costume on the popular Arsenio Hall show, coming out, sitting and looking menacing, not saying a word. That's cool. I remember Arsenio Hall. That was a fun show. Did you know Jason X was one of the first films to be converted to digital before post-production, making it one of the sharpest pictures in the franchise? Did not know that. I almost bought this. This was put out by, I believe it was NECA, put out kind of like this little display. About a couple, like 2 or 3 years ago, I almost bought it. It was like $400, but I was like, no, that's a little too much. It's probably more than that now, because like I said, this was a couple years ago. What do we have down here? These are I'm not sure what these are down here. I don't know if they're comic books or paperback books. I've never seen these before. These are comic books here. I have some of these. These are becoming more and more expensive as time goes on. Some of these graded are $300, $400, $500. That's a cool poster. I've never seen that one before. I do have Freddy vs. Jason, the original poster. This is a different one. This is a variation of it, but I've never seen that. It looks great. I'm going to look for that one. I'm going to try to grab that if I can find it. When they do these little kind of window box masks, they're very limited. I think it's like they're limited to like 500 or 1,000. That's why they're a few $100. I've never seen that before. That's cool. They have some really good stuff in this magazine. I've never seen that before either. Looks like these are shot glasses or drinking glasses. Here's a statue. Now this, I believe this is from Sideshow, and this right here is probably over $1,000. I would guess. Anywhere from like $850 to $1,200, I'm gonna guess. I know that's a big gap, but you can probably find it in varying conditions for those prices. I have this one. Oh, these are comic books, by the way, and I have that one. I don't have any of the other ones on this page. I have this original poster. That's from the 2009 remake, I guess. It's not really a remake, but there's another version of the 2009 remake, reimagining. This is the one I was showing you guys earlier. Let's see if it says. I think this was limited to like 500 or 1,000, and it's probably, if I had to guess, it's probably like around $400 right now, depending on condition. Wow, they really went through and gave a good once-over for the franchise. This was really cool. Horror Hound put their work in. There was a couple of, I'm going to go back because I missed a couple of fun facts here in trivia, and then we're going to wrap this up pretty soon. This is a really long video. Let's see. Fun fact, Betsy Palmer was asked to reprise her role as Mrs. Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason. However, she turned down the role. It was then given to TV star Paula Shaw. Fun fact, on Friday the 13th, can briefly be seen in a romantic film, Murphy's Romance, starring Corey Haim. Fun fact, one of the original ideas for Freddy vs. Jason included both characters being sucked into hell and fighting in an arena. Obviously, this idea was scrapped due to cost reasons. Did you know 2009 marked the first year that a screen-accurate Jason Voorhees hockey mask was made widely available and affordable for the public thanks to NECA and Toys R Us? I have all of those. I'll show you at the end of this video. I'll show you the hockey masks I have from NECA. Did you know Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash 2 features a number of survivors from various Friday the 13th films, including Tommy Jarvis, Stephanie Kimball, and Tina Shepard. Fun fact, Friday the 13th, 2009 was the first Friday to be co-produced by New Line Cinema and Paramount. I knew that. New Line owned the characters' trademarks. However, Paramount still owned the original, and that's been a problem but it's not a problem anymore because the box set did come out. Scream Factory and Anchor Bay put that out. Fun fact, a promotional box was distributed to press in anticipation of Friday the 13th's release shown above, the remake, or whatever, reimagining. It included a plastic hockey mask and postcard from Crystal Lake. And quotable quotes, Jason, my special, special boy. They must be punished, Jason, for what they did to you, for what they did to me. Nana Visitor, Friday the 13th, 2009. And the last one, and we're going to wrap it up here pretty quick. This has gone on longer than I wanted. I really enjoyed this, but I don't know if you guys are even still here at this point. Fun fact, numerous Jason Voorhees products have been released over the years, which are non-specific to a certain film installment. Above is a Sideshow Collectibles artist interpretation statue that was recently released, and I do have this one. That is awesome. I have that right there. Here's another Sideshow here too, but this is the one that they have in this photo here. That thing is like over $1,000 now. I didn't pay that much for it, but that's what it's going for now. And then we'll just kind of quickly flip through. We're almost at the end. And you can see here that they have some little odds and ends here at the very end of the magazine. You can order some back issues, but again, this magazine is 14 years old, so you're not going to be able to get a lot of these anymore, but you can still get these on secondary markets. I'm still picking these up a little at a time. You can see that some of these have been sold out for 14 years already. The Michael Jackson one, it's a different Friday the 13th cover. Some of these are very, very pricey now. I bought the first one, the very first cover in mint condition for $30. So to me, that's not, I mean, that's expensive for a magazine, but that's not ridiculous to the point, you know, for a number one in mint condition, $30 is very, very fair to me. Everybody's different with their money and their collecting, but to me, I think that's extremely fair. Here is, what is this? Bloodthirsty Thursdays, Friday the 13th trilogy. You can watch, I think, you can buy tickets and watch that in a theater. That sounds awesome. Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. I would love that. That's in the next issue. So, hope you guys enjoyed this long magazine flip through. I hope you found some enjoyment out of it, some relaxation, some info. I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. And we lost Heidi again, but Hannah's still with me. She's tried and true. She would never leave my side. This is my bestie. She's been the best dog I've ever had. I've had many, many great dogs. They're all the best dogs I've ever had, but she's been a very good friend to me. She's a man's best friend. Definitely right there. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next video. You want to say goodbye? Yeah, you're a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl, Haney. Thank you.